ProPublica has this article out. Abortion bans have delayed emergency medical care. Period. New sentence. In Georgia, experts say this mother's death was preventable. First thing to notice is that they are assuming that you will assume that these two sentences are related. But if you read the article, when the experts say the mother's death was preventable, they're not referencing the Georgia abortion law. This woman, Amber Thurman, died after she went septic when she didn't get a D&C nearly soon enough after having very serious, dangerous complications from taking legal abortion pills. So yes, her death was preventable. If she hadn't taken the abortion pills, it might not have happened, and if she hadn't been the victim of medical negligence, it also might not have happened. But none of that has to do with Georgia's abortion law, and if you read the ProPublica article, they even say that they have no evidence that it's related to Georgia's abortion law. So what happened? Thurman found out she was pregnant with twins not long after Georgia passed their heartbeat law. So she went to North Carolina, and she wanted to get a procedural or surgical abortion, but because of bad traffic, she missed her appointment, so when she got to the clinic in North Carolina, they gave her the pills instead. She took one pill there and was told to take the other pill later at home, and then she had complications where she didn't expel all of the fetal tissue from her body. Of course, the North Carolina clinic is not required to have patients come in person to confirm that they've expelled all the tissue from their body. And as far as we know from this article, they never followed up with her via phone call or any other method either. They gave her the pills and they sent her on her way. Keep this in mind when abortion proponents talk about how not only are the abortion pills safe and effective, but, so they say, so is telehealth abortion, where you don't actually have to see a provider, and so is so-called self-managed abortion. In any case, Thurman went to the Piedmont Henry Hospital in need of a D&C to remove the retained fetal tissue. And, so says ProPublica, just that summer, Georgia had made performing a D&C a felony. This is completely untrue. In fact, ProPublica contradicts itself, because later in the same article they say one of the hospital network's own practices in Georgia describes a D&C as a fairly common minor surgical procedure. And if you click on that link that says own practice, they go on to describe all these ways they use D&Cs, and these are legal. They are not felonies. And D&Cs are legal in Georgia even in the case of abortion if it's for a medical emergency or, importantly to this story, if there's no detectable heartbeat. Here's the actual text of the Georgia heartbeat law. Abortion means the act of using, prescribing, or administering any instrument, substance, device, or other means with the purpose to terminate a pregnancy with knowledge that termination will, with reasonable likelihood, cause the death of an unborn child. So there's strike one right there, because in Thurman's case, she had taken the abortion pills days earlier. Her twins were already passed away. Removing the retained fetal tissue after an abortion is not completed isn't causing the death of anyone. But there's more. The law goes on to say very explicitly that removing a dead unborn child is not considered an abortion. It also talks about how there are exceptions for medical emergencies, which certainly include if abortion is necessary in order to prevent the death of the pregnant woman. And none of this needs to apply anyway because Georgia has a heartbeat law, which means that you are only assessing what is considered an illegal abortion, what's considered a medical exemption, and so forth, if there is a detectable heartbeat. None of this applies to Thurman's case. It's not even plausible that Georgia's heartbeat law is the reason doctors didn't intervene when they should have. And ProPublica offers no evidence that that's why the doctors didn't intervene. In fact, they go out of their way to say that they couldn't get any statements from the doctors and nurse involved in Thurman's care, or the communication staff from the hospital, or Georgia's Department of Public Health. Nobody anywhere has said, well, we were confused about the abortion law and that's why we didn't intervene. You would think if they wanted to avoid a lawsuit, someone at some point would say that. The summary report shows that they discussed the procedure at least twice in the hours before they finally tried to do it. And as ProPublica says, it's not clear from the records available why they waited. Keep in mind there are many stories of women not getting proper obstetric care related to pregnancy, related to miscarriage, related to abortion, whatever, in many states. And there is inevitably a certain rate of medical mistakes, and there's also malpractice and negligence and incompetence, and it's often made worse when we get into issues of race. Maternal mortality rates are very different depending on which race of women you're talking about, and that should be a serious concern to everybody. So when experts say that this woman's death after taking legal abortion pills, experiencing complications, and then receiving such incompetent medical care was preventable, I fully believe them. But ProPublica should show some interest in the actual reasons why they delayed emergency care, instead of trying so hard to twist this ill-fitting story into a narrative about abortion bans.